Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to church again with us. Still different, but man, it's been a good place to be the past several weeks. Been good to be back in church on Sunday mornings again. Hopefully soon we'll get back to Wednesday night and Sunday nights again. But until then, we're going to make the best of this, and I believe God's still been in it. I know God's been blessing me, and I hope He's been blessing you. Thank you again so much for all the support that all of you have been giving. Y'all are just awesome. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I thank you so much for all the support. Feel free to share. Go for it. And I pray that hopefully tonight somebody will feel changed, maybe revived or saved or whatever the case may be. I hope that you find some peace with Jesus at the end of tonight. So we're going to go ahead and open up in prayer. We're going to ask God to bless this service. We're going to ask God for healing for the land, for everything else that's happening. And whatever's going on in your life, we're going to pray that He'll take care of those things. If you're having some sickness or financial issues, whatever it might be, we're going to ask God and take those things and those important needs to Him in prayer right now. Hope you'll join with me. Heavenly Father, we want to say thank you yet again for getting to be here, God. And God, though it may not be in a church, God, it's still home for us, God. And we're still glad that we get to come and worship you in one way or another. And I pray, Lord, that you would bless each and every person that watches this, God, all the different multiple people that will be watching. And I pray, Lord, that you would help those and fill your spirit, God, fill their houses with your spirit, and that you may fill this house with your spirit as well. I pray, Lord, for each and every sickness that somebody may be going through. God, may you heal our country of all the sicknesses that are going around. Lord, may you help each and every financial situation that's happening. God, may you reach down and touch those and be with those, Lord. Whatever the case might be, God, for the lost loved ones, God, I pray that you would speak and minister to them, God. May we lead them to you, God, in a loving way. Lord, may they find you before it's too late. I pray, God, that you have your will and way, Lord, that you would anoint my lips and my heart, God, that I would speak and preach what you want me to speak and preach on. God, without your spirit in this message, God, it's nothing. And I pray that you fill it, God, with your spirit, God, with your sweet spirit. God, I pray that you would help those, God, of us, God, that are listening, that you would anoint our ears and our hearts, God, that we would not just simply hear, but that we would also accept and receive and be different from what we were coming into the service. God, I pray that often, but God, I really do mean it, God, because I want us to be revived and I want us to start some big things. So God, I'm praying that you have your will and way and fill this place with your spirit. I love you and I thank you for all that you've done for me. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. We're going to go ahead and just get right into the message. We're going to open up our Bibles to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 11. We're going to read verses 4 through 7. And then we're going to, after we read verse 7, we're going to go down to verse 10. That's Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verses 4 through 7. And then we're going to go on down to 10 from there. Give you just a minute to find that. I like to follow along and read along. So I'd like to give you the same opportunity as much as possible. Hopefully everybody's there. Ecclesiastes is after Proverbs. Hopefully you're there. Chapter 11, verse 4 says that he that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of God, who maketh all. In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thine hand. For thou knowest not whether shall prosper either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good. Truly the light is sweet, and a pleasant thing it is for the eyes to behold the sun. Now verse 10 says, therefore remove sorrow. Boy, that'd do us some good to get a hold of that. Let me read that again. Therefore remove sorrow from my heart, and put away evil from thy flesh. For childhood, youth are vanity. I'd like to preach tonight a little bit about the sun. A little bit of a different title tonight. Some of you are probably about to love it. Some of those who like the Beatles. But I'd like to preach a little bit tonight about Here Comes the Sun. Now, not in the way that the Beatles mean it, but as the S-O-N instead. I want to talk a little bit about my mom for a long time. Since I can remember, has always, it doesn't matter if it is broad daylight, the blinds are open and the sun is shining through so much, if the blinds are shining through, you can't even see the TV. She will come into the house most of the time and still flip the light switch on. She does not like any darkness inside of her house whatsoever. As a matter of fact, there's been times she'll come over to my house and she'll say, "Son, it's dark in here." She'll flip the light on, and that's how she's always been. She doesn't like the darkness at all. And she's passed that on to Landon. Actually, Landon, my son, does the same things. Man, he'll run in here and he'll say, "Daddy, it's dark," and he'll flip the light on, and he'll come in, and I guess he has to see his Spider-Man and his Incredible Hulk and Mario toys and all those different things so that he can see them and play with them in the way that he needs to. He needs to see what he's doing, rather, I guess, when he's playing with his toys. So he needs to shed a little light on the subject. And now, I wonder how many of us today are walking around in darkness, or are maybe even surrounded by darkness. It doesn't take much to be surrounded by it nowadays, by the way, and we're not really sure how we're going to find the way out of that darkness at all. I would remind us tonight, Here Comes the Sun. The Beatles many, many years ago sang a song that says, "Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo." I probably messed that all up. Here comes the sun, and I say, it's all right. Listen, I'm going to say to many of us tonight, here comes the S-O-N, the Son, and His name is Jesus. And when Jesus shows up, it's all right. It's all going to be okay. So I want you to understand something tonight, that Jesus is on the way in the midst of all the bad things that are happening. Jesus Christ is His name, and He's coming to help your issues and my issues, and He's standing by and watching and has a plan for all of our issues. All we have to do is just trust Him a little bit, and He'll see us through those things. So I like to hit on just a few things, and oftentimes, if you've heard me preach much, you'll hear me say when I open up and through the online service especially is, I'll say when I open up for prayer, I said it again tonight, I believe, is if there's financial issues or medical issues or whatever the case may be, pray about those things. And I'd like to shed a little light on those subjects right now. So, are there financial concerns? Don't worry, here comes the sun. Now, I want to tell about a story when me and Tiffany hadn't been married very long, and I lost my job. A recession hit, and the business I was in just wasn't doing good anymore at that point in time, and we were struggling pretty badly, and didn't have much money for gas, and now people were trying to help, but I'm a guy, I don't like receiving that kind of help if I can help it at all, and so we were packing things up. The service was over. We were packing all the instruments up and carrying things out and back and forth. And a little old lady, I don't think I'd ever seen her before and haven't seen her since. I don't even get her name. All I could do was to say thank you and hug her. But she stopped me and she said, "God told me to give you this tonight." And she just handed over, I can't remember, it was $100 or $200. But she handed, I said, no, it's okay, I don't need it. She said, "No, God said to do it, I'm going to do it, so you take it, don't rob me of that." I said, "Okay, well, thank you so much." And I teared up, and she teared up. She said, "I just want you to know it's going to be okay. He told me to tell you that." And boy, it just did my heart some good to feel like that there was a Christian that was still caring and doing those things. And that's just one story. But there was one day, shortly after Landon had been born, hadn't been born very long at all, and we had mom and dad, and all them will probably get on to me, and Tiffany's mom and dad, but we were short on cash. We had spent a lot of extra money on medical bills and still trying to keep up with all the other bills and those things, and we've fallen short on cash, and there wasn't much food in the cabinets. There wasn't much food in the fridge, so I had to buy some diapers and formulas and all these different types of things, and I didn't know how we were going to do it. We were negative in the bank from the last bill that had come out, automatically, and I didn't know how we were going to do it, where that money was coming from, or how we were, it was, I think, Monday in the beginning of the week, and we're already dead broke, and Tiffany, bless her heart, she was still stressed out. She just had a baby, so just the emotions were up and down, and so she's stressed out, I'm stressed out. We kind of lash back and forth at each other. Don't you judge us too hard, married couples. You all do the same thing. Some wife right now smacking her husband in the arm. I guarantee it's happening. No, but anyways, so we're sitting there, and we kind of, not a bad argument, but just, we're stressed out, and we're short with each other, and she said, Corey, what are we going to do? And I said, I don't know, baby. All I know is that we're going to trust God. He's going to come through. Now, let me rewind a little bit back about, I think it had been probably about 5 months before this had all taken place. And we were in Sam's Club, and we passed a little table, and some guy said, hey, can I stop you for a minute? And I was like, hey, what's going on? And he said, well, I'm with DirecTV here at Sam's Club, and I'm trying to offer you and trying to get more people to sign up. So can I interest you? And instantly when these things happen, Tiffany always is like, come on, Corey. Well, I'm a guy. And I started saying, no, I'm okay. He said, well, what if I could save you money and get you the same deals that you have? What channels are you looking for? Well, instantly comes to mind is the Big Ten Network. Don't judge me too harshly on that, SEC people. But I said I like the Big Ten Network. I need Ohio State football. I like ESPN. We need the Disney Channel. And that wraps up what we need from there. I like sports and those types of things. So whatever you can bring to us from that. He said, okay, well, let me get it. He went to work for a minute. He said, okay, I got a package, and I can save you right around, I don't know, $50 a month or something like that. And I was like, well, okay, maybe. And he said, but on top of that, they always got to get you with that but. And he said, but on top of that, what I'll do is I'll give you the NFL Sunday ticket for completely free for the full year. You'll get to watch your favorite NFL team. I was like, sign me up. I'm all for it. He said, then what I'm going to give you, I'm probably a lot more exaggerating than he was, but then what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you $300 worth of gift cards through Sam's Club, and you can come and shop and do whatever you want to. That's our gift from DirecTV for switching to us. And, well, fast forward 5 months, I completely forgot about all of that. And I went to the bedroom and I prayed, God, I don't know what we're going to do. Now, I told Tiffany, we're going to trust in you, but God, I don't know what else we're going to do. And look, I could have gone to my mom and dad, and they would have all been helpful and would have been there, but like I said before, I don't like to ask for that kind of help. And, well, if I had, it would have robbed the blessing. But so I still didn't know what to do. And I wiped the tears from my face because I didn't want them to see that I was crying. And I walked outside to the mailbox. And I got there, and there were about 4 or 5 other bills. There was a medical bill, electric bill, and another bill on top of that, and then another bill there. And then at the very bottom of that pile, there was a DirecTV thing. I thought, great day, there's the bill from DirecTV. My goodness, it's just stacking up. But then I felt around that envelope, and I opened the envelope, and there was a gift card in there for $300 to Sam's Club. Now, I don't know if you've ever been shopping at Sam's Club, but that gets you a lot at Sam's Club because you don't buy just single things there. And fed us for a while, by the way. So I put it back in the envelope, and I went in like I was still aggravated, like I was still mad, and I took that envelope, and Tiffany was sitting in my recliner and had Landon holding him, and she was just crying on the couch, and I didn't say a word, and I just took it, and I kind of slammed it down on her stomach, and she picked that up, and she said, great day, same thing I had, great day, more bills, what are we going to do? And she opened up, and she got completely silent. I walked into the kitchen, and she got completely silent, and she said, thank you, God. And she just began to weep, and I walked in, and I held her, and I hugged her, and I said, you see, God comes through. You see, I want us to understand something that I'm telling you, no matter what our financial situations are, how broke you may get, that our situations may be bad, but I want you to know, hold on, because here comes the sun. He'll show up just on time. So remove all sorrow from your heart if you're struggling financially, and trust that God, when you've done all that you can do, and keep working, keep doing those things, as what I just read, but trust God in the process, and He'll be there for you. I believe it. I want you to know, here comes the sun if you're struggling financially, and it's all going to be all right from there. So remove all that sorrow from your heart. Number 2 is there medical concerns in your life? Don't worry. Here comes the sun. There was a time I was 18 years old. This may not mean a whole lot, but it meant a lot to me in my life. There was a time when I cut my finger. I was 18, 19 years old, and I cut my finger on a table saw. It was pretty bad. Took about, just on the tip of my finger was about 11 or 12 stitches together. And they were worried about infection and all these different things. And they talked about possibly amputating the finger. And then they got to the conversation of the whole hand. I'm like, hold up, man. I play the instrument. I play instruments. I played since I was about 8 years old. They mean a lot to me. I need this thing to be able to play that. And the doc said, well, I'm worried about gangrene. I really am. So we prayed about it, and well, I still have everything. It's right here. And it's still good. And so I get to still play and worship God through those things. But here recently, there's something that really touched my heart. My wife's family. She has a cousin on that side, on her dad's side. And she was told, I believe, I may not get it right, I hope I do, but I believe she was told she has stage 3 cancer. It was all over her body. The doctors weren't giving much hope, and the doctors said, even with chemo, you'll have X and X amount of time to live. Just months, I don't know how many, but months to live. And the doctors weren't giving much hope at all. And I remember going to the house, and I seen the news on Facebook, and if you ever met her, you just fall in love with her. She's a sweet person. And I went to the house, and Bart was just heartbroken. Loretta was heartbroken, and Bart was talking to me. He said, Corey, what are we going to do? I don't understand why God is allowing this to happen. I said, I don't either, Bart. I don't have that answer, but we're going to trust Him regardless. He said, yes, we are. And so we prayed about it. Well, I believe it was either Monday or Tuesday. As I was scrolling through Facebook, I seen a post, and I don't remember who posted it exactly, but I seen that it said Lori was cancer-free. I want you to know something tonight, that when the doctors say this is probably the end, or this is as bad as it's going to get for you, and there's not much hope, I want you to know something, that God is still there. And when it seems like all hope is gone, here comes the sun. Not the S-U-N, by the way, but the S-O-N will be there for you the whole way. And if you have any of those medical concerns, I want you to know that He'll be there for you. I've seen God heal cancer. I've seen God heal deaf ears. I've seen God help the eyes that were going blind. I've seen God help eyes that wanted to cry and worship for Him, that had the tear ducts were just dried up. I've seen Him open those up and they could cry from there. I've seen God do all of these things, and it still is happening today. And I want you to know that no matter how desperate your medical concerns may be becoming right now, God is still there. Here comes the sun onto the scene to rescue. So I want you to know, hold on, because here comes the sun. Remove all sorrow from your heart. It'll be okay. God is there for you. I'm so thankful today that the sun still comes to us. So here comes the sun. Y'all just hold on. God's going to work a miracle for somebody today. I believe it. I hope you believe it as well. Believe it, own it, accept it, and I believe it. He'll be there. He'll work a miracle for you today. Number 3, are there spiritual concerns? Don't worry. Here comes the sun. The other day, I think it was Monday, I went to work, had the Monday blues, man, and I was just like, I want to go back to work, and you know, things weren't going bad necessarily, but I just didn't want to be there, and just kind of a gloomy mood, kind of a gloomy attitude. Don't judge me too harshly. I think a lot of us probably are there on Mondays oftentimes, but so I was sitting there, and I got my guys in and out, and started driving to go about my busy day, and I got a call from one of my coworkers, and he said, hey man, I just want to stop and say, I just want to ask, is there anything I can help you pray about today? And I said, well, his name is Greg, and I said, well, yeah, actually. And so I gave him my prayer list, and he gave me some things off of his prayer list, and I went and prayed for him, and I know he went and prayed for me. But boy, that just uplifted me, And it made my heart feel so much better. Like I went into the rest of the day feeling a little bit more uplifted, and the spirits were uplifted. See, one of the points I want to make is you may be that blessing for somebody, even if you're having a bad day, and we can share each other's problems and each other's burdens. That's what being a Christian is all about. That's what we're supposed to do for one another. So that my spirits were uplifted. I felt so much better. So I prayed for myself. I prayed for him. And I know he did the same for me because it was apparent. There was also another time when I got mad at somebody at the church. It's been a long time ago. And I said, if they're there, I'm not going. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab my guitar, my stuff, and I'm just going to go. I'm going to go somewhere else. And I'm going to be done with it. And so I did, man. I went and I sat on the pew. I didn't go up and play the instruments. Somebody asked me to sing. I didn't do that. I sat there like a bump on a log. And boy, just felt mad and angry and all these things. And right about that time, God showed up. Well, the message is here comes the sun. Well, here he came. And he kind of got right up beside me, and I heard him say, Corey, this ain't right. And I said, I don't care if it's wrong or right. Don't judge me again. I think I'm just being honest with you. And I said, God, I don't want to be here if they're here. I don't want any part of this. And I'm just going to get my stuff at the end of the service, and I'm going home, and I'll go find somewhere else to play for all I care. And Jesus said, no, here came the sun. And he said, no, you need to go get this right. And so, well, what did I do? I had to go back and I had to get these things right. And I wasn't feeling very spiritual to be in the church. You see, I wasn't getting the right way. But he said, Corey, you need to get it right. And I went and prayed. And you know what happened when I went and prayed? I felt a lot better. Go figure, that's the answer to it, right? So I went and prayed and things got better. And maybe I want somebody here to understand something. Maybe you're here today and you're just not feeling very spiritual. I don't know. Maybe there's things that have come up in your life and you're struggling with stuff. And maybe you're just not feeling very spiritual. And it's been a while since you felt God come on the scene, or maybe you're struggling with some sort of temptation, or maybe you're just sick and tired of church people. Well, don't forget you are one. I am one as well. I want you to know, just hang on, because here comes the sun, doo-doo, and it's going to be all right. I want you to understand something, that no matter what you're going through, no matter how you're feeling, I want you to hold on for just a little bit longer, because here comes the sun, and it's all right when he shows up. You see, I went into church that day, and nothing felt all right with me, but when I got things right, when here came the sun, and he came to me, and I went back to him, and I prayed, and I asked him to help me with those feelings, and help me not to feel so angry and so bitter towards somebody over what they had done to me or over so-and-so. It felt better, and I got things right with him, and it felt all right from there on. And I want us to know something. If we're struggling with something, if there's a financial concern, if there's a medical concern, if there's a spiritual concern, I want you to know the sun is on the way. The S-O-N is on his way. When he shows up, if you allow it, it'll be all right from there. I want you to understand something too. If you'll hold on a little bit longer, he'll show up and he'll show out, and your spirit, I guarantee you, will be renewed, and there's no telling what limits God can do in your life if you'll let him tonight. So what about you? Are you in need tonight of knowing here comes the sun? Are you trusting in him with all of your heart? Are you expecting God to do great and miraculous and wonderful things for you in your life? Are you trusting him no matter how low, how poor, how sick, or how less spiritual you may be feeling, if that makes sense? Are you trusting him? If not, can I tell you something? Trust him. Hold on just a little bit longer, because here comes the sun. I'm not going to sing that song tonight, but probably not many of us will ever hear that song the same way again. I don't know. And it did me some good, but if you need to pray tonight, I want you to know you can pray and get it right tonight. You just got to trust in Jesus tonight. Would you pray as I sing if you need to? Well, I've been held by the Savior, and I felt fire from above, and I've been down to the river. Well, I ain't the same, a prodigal return. And all my hope is in Jesus. And thank God my yesterday's gone. And all my sins are forgiven. 'Cause I've been washed by the blood. I'm no stranger to a prison, and I've worn shackles and chains, but I've been freed and forgiven. I'm not going back, I'll never be the same. Well, and all my hope is in Jesus. Thank God that yesterday's gone. Oh, and all my sins are forgiven. 'Cause I've been washed by the blood. Well, there's a kind of thing that just breaks a man, breaking down to his knees. Oh God, I've been broken more than a time or two, but you picked me up and showed me what it means to be a man. That's why I sing. All my hope is in Jesus. Thank God my yesterday's gone. Well, and all my sins are forgiven. 'Cause I've been washed by the blood. Well, all my hope is in Jesus. Thank God my yesterday's gone. Oh, and all my sins are forgiven. 'Cause I've been washed by the blood. Amen. I hope you got some things right with God. I hope you feel renewed. I hope you feel better than what you did when you came into it. I hope you've been encouraged. And no matter how bad it gets, remember, hold on, because here comes the sun. I love you guys. Thank you for joining and being with us this evening. We will look forward to seeing you guys Sunday. 10 o'clock will be Sunday school, and then 11 o'clock will be the regular service time. I love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you Sunday. Have a good night.